All right, hello Math 10, Mr. Beeline here with your lesson for today. We are still talking about solving systems of equations. Last time we talked about how to solve it through graphing. And this time we're going to talk about algebraically solving it, okay? And the reason, again, we want to do this is because graphing can be a lot of work, and if it's not exactly on like one of the intercepts or intersections, it can be hard to exactly determine what that point is that the two lines intersect, and we do need to be precise. So let's have a look at this algebraically. In particular, we're going to be looking at something called the substitution method. So this is a method of solving equations by substituting equations within one another. Okay, so what does this mean? So it means you've got your two equations, and you're going to make sure that one of them is solved for either x or y. And then you're going to substitute in that expression for whichever variable you had there. So then you're just going to solve the other variable. So if you solve for x here, and then you're going to substitute in that whole expression wherever you find an x, and then you can just solve for y. Then once you've solved for y and you have an actual number, you can then substitute that number in back into your first expression to solve for the x. Okay, so this might be a little confusing without doing an example, but these are the steps. Okay, so let's have a look here at this one right here. So y equals 4x minus 1 and y equals 2x minus 5. So we can already pick one of them. I'm just going to pick the top one because it's there. And I want to solve this using step 1 here. So I'm going to solve one equation for x and y. It's already in the form y equals 4x minus 1, so I can just have it solve for y. So y equals 4x minus 1. So in the second equation, wherever I see y, I'm just going to put in this here. So I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to put it in here. So our y equals 2x minus 5 becomes 4x minus 1 equals 2x minus 5. So I've just dropped that in there, okay? Now I look at this, and this is just like a two-step linear equation, right? So we're just going to add 1 to both sides, so then we get 4x equals 2x minus 4, and then I'm just going to divide by 4 here, and we get, sorry, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Let's do that first. So then we get 2x equals negative 4, so x equals negative 2. So we've got that part, right? So our first answer is going to be negative 2. Then we're going to take that negative 2 and we're going to put it back into the top question, okay? So the reason why we do this is because if I put it back into the first question, it's going to solve for sure, but it might not solve for this for the first original question. So we need to make sure that once we find the number using the second equation, which is what we did, we put it back into the first one. So then we put it back in, and we get y equals 4 negative 2 minus 1. So y equals negative 8 minus 1, which equals negative 9. So our final answer would be negative 2, negative 9. Okay, let's do another one here. So with this one, okay, again, our y equals 6x is already in this form here. So we can just solve, because this one's already solved for y, we can just plug that into here. We don't need to worry about rearranging this question. The second one, we only need to rearrange and solve for the first one as per step 1. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it in here. So 2x, and then I'm going to make sure to put brackets in here because, again, we're replacing this y with everything inside the x. So we want to make sure that if we're multiplying, it's applying to everything. It doesn't really come up too much with this one, but if, for example, this question here above, we try to put it in, we'd have to watch for that. So 2x plus 3, the y's replaced equals negative 20, and now we just solve this. So 3 times 6 is 18, x plus 2x is 20, x equals negative 20. So x is going to equal negative 1 here. And then again, I'm going to just plug that back into this top question here. So y equals 6 times negative 1, so y is going to be negative 6. Not too bad. Okay. Let's have a look at one more here, okay? So let's just do one more just to make sure. Again, this one's already in the form y equals x plus 9, so we've already solved for y. So I'm just going to take this whole thing and put it in here. And this is kind of what I was talking about. So watch. We go 3x plus 8 bracket x plus 9 equals negative 5. Then this 8 is going to distribute to both pieces. So you end up with 3x plus 8x plus 8 times 9 is 72 equals negative 5. Combine those together, 11x. Subtract 72 from both sides. I'm just going to do that in one step here. So negative 5 minus 72 is negative 77. So when we divide by 11, x is going to equal negative 7. Oh, sorry. Negative 7. And then we're just going to take that negative 7 and put it back into here. And we end up with y equals negative 7 plus 9, which equals negative 2. So our answer would be negative 7, negative 2. Okay, that is it for today's lesson. Lots of practice. This is a tricky one. Please try to jump onto all of it. Okay, take care, everybody.